Good morning, everyone. Subhodayam, as we say in Telugu. So, I welcome all of you to our session today. Uh, Let me know if all of you are able to hear me clearly. Okay, thank you. Yeah, you can write in chat also. Yeah, okay, thank you so much. So, I am very happy again to welcome all of you to our session. Uh, Today will going to be a very special session, and the title I'm sure you are able to see on the screen, that is Art of Positive Thinking. So today uh, one of my friend is there, his name is Indranil. He will going to take a session for all of you today. So I will just have a quick introduction for all of you of him. So Indranil Chatterjee, uh, his name, he has been a school prefect in his school times. Then he has got an award for the best all-around performance in his school. Then Indranil sir, he has been a highest goal scorer in the inter-school football competition. Actually, you will be very happy to know that Indranil sir, he has not been he was only not a very bright student, but at the same time very active in co-curricular activities and also in sports and all. In fact, I know him personally. He is very good in football also, like that. So he has been a highest goal scorer in the inter-school football competition, featuring schools from many states. Then Indranil sir has been a player of tournament in the inter-school football competition. He has also won prizes in many inter-school drama competition as well. Then uh, sir has done his BTech in ECE. ECE stands for Electronics and Communication Engineering. He did his BTech from Kalyani Government Engineering College. This is the second best college which comes under West Bengal University, like that. Then sir has won many prizes in multiple like inter-college robotics competition. So those of you who are there in like 10th, 11th and 12th class, they may be able to like relate more. These robotics and all, they comes when you go to BTech, and also some shade of it is there in your classes as well. And then sir is currently working as an analog design engineer in Hyderabad. Uh, Actually, we both stay at same place in Hyderabad, and in fact, he is very good friend of mine. I have been sharing a very thick friendship with him from last 1 year almost now, like that. So I'm very happy that you all are very fortunate to have his association today. I request Indranil sir, he will take over the session. Thank you so much.
Yeah, hello. And once again, a very good morning. And I actually feel very happy that I am here. I got this opportunity to share some valuable things which I learned myself, learned in my life with all of you, all such young, bright faces, the future of the country. So, regarding today's session, we have that I think all of you are aware of the topic which we have, that is the art of positive thinking, right? Yeah. So, I'll just start the PPT. Okay. Sharing the PPT with all of you. So hope all of you are able to see the PPT. Please let me know if you are unable to see the PPT. Okay, yeah. Okay, so we'll start. So as you know, the today's topic is art of positive thinking. So now let us see like what is this positive thinking and why is it important? So what is positive thinking? Positive thinking is a way to look at things and situations around us that make us happy and enthusiastic. So all of us, all of us, we want to remain always happy, and we also always want to remain enthusiastic, and actually, it depends on how we actually look at, because we will face many situations and circumstances in our life, and if we have a positive approach to those things, then we can become, remain happy and enthusiastic in any kind of situation. So this is actually what is positive thinking. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Are you able to see the slide? I think the positive thinking slide, I think it's not visible, right? Okay, just 1 second. Okay, okay, now it's visible. Yeah. It's not changing then. Okay, I think it's not changing, so I will share again. Oh, it's not able to. Okay. I think now it's visible. Okay. So this was what we learned about positive thinking. Now let me show you an example. So see here. So you can see a glass of water. Now there are many ways. Now there are two ways to look at it. Now someone, while looking at this glass of water, he may actually tell, okay, it's actually only half full. It's only half full. The water is only half full. But another person, when he will look at the same glass of water, he may say, okay, it's only half empty. Already half of the water is there. If we just put little more water, the glass will become full. So this is an example of, like, the person who is telling that it is only half full, he does not have a positive approach. While the other person who is telling that, okay, it's already, it's only half empty. If we just put little more water, it will get totally filled. So this is actually positive approach. Yeah, I think there is some internet issue. That is why we are facing some difficulties. So just just give me a minute. I will just resolve those. Okay. Okay. So now let us see that why is this positive thinking important? We are thinking that what is positive thinking? What is positive thinking? That why we have to develop positive thinking, positive thinking. But why is this positive thinking important? Because when because by maintaining positive thinking, we can actually be in the best condition possible in any situation. So now uh, let me ask you a question. So like some of us, we have taken part we have taken part in some competition, suppose say some running competition, and we have practiced very very hard, like for the last 1 month we have been practicing, and we have been trying very hard. And also in the practice sessions we have been coming, the first 3 positions in the prize winning positions. But suddenly in the final competition day we couldn't come in the first 3 positions. Then what happens to us? We become very very sad. Become, we start thinking that actually I practiced so hard, but why did it happen with me? Now some of us may think also, now from now onwards I will never run a race. I quit running. Like, and also it may happen that sometimes you may study well, and but still we are unable to score good marks in the examination. It happens with all of us. And now someone may think, okay, my God, I studied so much, but still I couldn't get good marks. So what is this? So from now onwards, I won't study like this. We can tell like these things. So all of us face this kind of situations. So therefore, as I told you, that if we maintain a positive attitude, we can be in the best condition possible in any situation. So now, if someone is having a positive attitude, what can he think? So actually he will think that, okay, that no problem, this time I failed, but next time surely I will not repeat the mistakes which I have made this time, and thus in the next time I will surely succeed. So it is said that actually failures are a stepping stone to success. So now what is stepping stone? So see, this is an example of stepping stone. So all of you might have experienced, suppose on a rainy day, on rainy season, we are trying to cross across a road or a patch of land on which, there is so much mud is there. But you will see that bricks are kept. Someone may have kept some bricks like this. You can see in the picture, which are while keeping your foot on which you can cross over that muddy area and you can ultimately reach your goal. So failures are compared to stepping stones because they help us to come closer to our ultimate goal. So now, how is it like that? See, when we have failed in some, when we have failed, suppose in doing something in any activity, then we actually know that okay, it does not work this way. So therefore, when I am doing the same activity next time, I will not repeat the same mistake. And in this way, I will come closer to achieving my goal, right? And in this connection, there is a very famous example. So how many of you know who is this personality in the screen? Yes, it's actually Thomas Alva Edison. So who is Thomas Alva Edison? What is he famous for? He's actually famous for inventing the light bulb, right? For inventing the electric bulb. Now, if you see his story, his actual story, he had failed for 999 times. Can you imagine? For he had failed for not once, not twice, not thrice, but for 999 times. And after that, he could build this light bulb. So we can see, and you know what he said? That actually, I did not fail. I learned 999 ways that I learned 999 ways in which it won't work. That I learned 999 ways in which I cannot make the electric bulb, and thus in the 1000th time I avoided all those things and I succeeded finally. So this is what Thomas Alva Edison says, and he's like one of the most famous scientists, the most successful scientists of our time. So what are the lessons which we can learn from this story is that actually failures are stepping stone to success, as I already mentioned to you. And also failing is failing to try. If someone he's after failing once, twice or thrice, whatever number of times, if he stops trying, then he's actually failing. If someone is keep on trying, then till the time he's trying, he's not failing. So these are very important lessons which we can learn from these things. So now what is the practical application? So next time when you see any of your friends telling you, oh, I couldn't score good in the exams, or I just couldn't win this thing, I just couldn't win this competition, then what you should tell? You should tell, do you know about Thomas Alva Edison? What did he do? And you should tell this story to your friend, and in this way you can help your friend, right? So this is the practical application. First of all, we have to apply in our own life that whenever you're not successful in some situation, we have to remember all these things, that actually have to keep on trying, and then only we'll get success. And secondly, whenever we see anyone around us facing similar situation, they are not able to succeed in some competition or any situation, then we should tell them also that actually failures are actually the stepping stone to success, and failing is failing to try. Okay. So next we'll see one very, very interesting story. So how many of you know who is this person who is being shown on the screen? This is a very, very famous story which I clearly remember that I had studied in my school days. So this is actually King Bruce. So this is the story of King Bruce and the spider. So once upon a time, there was a king known as King Bruce in Scotland. So how many of you know where is Scotland? Yes. So actually, Scotland is a country just beside England. So this story takes us back to 1300, to the 13th century. So King Bruce was the king of Scotland, and actually at that time England was very, very powerful, and they were always trying to capture the Scotland, the Scottish people. They were trying to capture Scotland, and King Bruce, he was a brave leader. So he was trying to fight against the English people. But as you know, that the English people were very, very strong. They had a big army, and so they easily defeated the Scottish king. But still, this king, he was not, he did not give up. What did he do? He again regained his entire army, and he again went to fight with England. And then what happened? I will show you through a video. Just 1 second. So this time also, while he was fighting, his army was again on the verge of defeat. And then King Bruce, he got very, very disappointed, and he did some things which I will just show you through the video. You will find it very, very wonderful. Yes. So just let me share my screen again. Share screen. Yeah. System. Sorry. So I think all of you are able to hear the sound as well, right?
King Bruce of Scotland flung himself down in a lonely mood to think. 'Tis true he was monarch and wore a crown, but his heart was beginning to sink, for he had been trying to do a great deed to make his people glad. He had tried and tried, but couldn't succeed, so became quite sad. He flung himself down in low despair, as grieved as man could be, and after a while, as he pondered there, "I'll give it all up," said he. Now just at the moment, a spider dropped with its silken cobweb clue, and the king, in the midst of his thinking, stopped to see what the spider would do. 'Twas a long way up to the ceiling dome, and it hung by a rope so fine that how it could get to its cobweb home, King Bruce could not divine. It soon began to cling and crawl, straight up with strong endeavour, but down it came with a slippery sprawl, as near to the ground as ever. Up it ran, not a second could stay to utter the least complaint, till it fell still lower, and there it lay, a little dizzy and faint. Its head grew steady, again it went, and travelled a half-yard higher. 'Twas a delicate thread it had to tread, and a road where its feet would tire. Again it fell and swung below, but again it quickly mounted, till up and down, now fast, now slow, 9 brave attempts were counted. "Sure," cried the king, "that foolish thing will strive no more to climb, when it toils so hard to reach and cling, and tumbles every time." But up the insect went once more. Ah me, 'tis an anxious minute. He's only a foot from his cobweb door. Oh say, will he lose or win it? Steadily, inch by inch, higher and higher he got, and a bold little run at the very last pinch put him into his native cot. "Bravo, bravo!" the king cried out. "All honour to those who try. The spider up there defied despair. He conquered, and why should not I?" And Bruce of Scotland braced his mind, and gossips tell the tale, that he tried once more, as he tried before, and that time he did not fail.
Yeah. So how many of you liked the video? Yeah, in that I will see in the chat. Yes, many of you are telling you like the video, and some of you are asking if this is real or not. Yes, it's actually real, and it's a very famous story. You can this is a very famous story from the Scottish, and exact date is also mentioned. You saw, no, that it is a story of 1306 AD. So therefore it is not a story, actually it's a reality, and you can find like find more about this. Yeah. So now let us see what are the lessons which we can learn from this story of King Bruce and the spider. Yeah. So now I will ask you, all of you that what are the lessons which you found that which we can learn from this story. So you can type in the chat that what are the lessons which we can. Yes. So Aditri is writing that we have never give up. Yes, this is very, very important what you're told, that we should never give up actually. So see, King Bruce on seeing this spider, you know, he failed for 9 times and then ultimately he could succeed. So therefore King Bruce thought, if the spider can, you know, if the spider can struggle so hard and he can also achieve success, then why not I? I am the king of Scotland. I am the leader of my army. If the spider is not giving up, what will people think of me? I'm hiding. It will such, you know, shameful situation. So therefore, actually, King Bruce went and he fought valiantly and he won the war. So yes, as all of you are trying that, actually we have to keep on trying and keep on trying. So this comes with respect in line with our previous theme, that is failures are stepping stone to success. Failing is actually failing to try. Yes. So now I will tell you a very, very interesting story, another very interesting story, and I am sure all of you. So yes. So how many of you know this personality? Who is this person standing here? Can you answer in chat? Yes, Hanumanji, right? Hanumanji, our beloved Hanumanji. So as you know, in the Ramayana, what happened that Ravana, he had captured Mother Sita and he had taken her to Lanka. And Lord Ram was in such anxiety, and he was that if you cannot find Mother Sita, don't return back. You have to find her. If you cannot find, don't return to me. This was what was the order of Sugriva. Now, different monkeys went in different directions, and one such part of the army came to South India. So, and this team consisted of Angad. He was the leader. Who was Angad? Any one of you know who was Angad? Angad. Okay, I think someone is telling that my voice is like not very clear. Is it clear? Not clear. Now is it clear, right? Okay. Yes. So Angad is someone is telling that he was daughter of Bali. Actually, he was the son of Bali. Yes. So yeah. So he corrected it. Yeah. Sorry. So he was the son of Bali. So Angad was the leader of this troop of monkeys. Now they came to the shore of this Indian Ocean actually, and now someone informed them that actually Mother Sita is on the other side. Ravan has captured her and he has taken her on the other side, that is on Lanka. Now these monkeys were in great, you know, anxiety. How can we cross this great ocean? How can we cross this Indian Ocean? So they were very, you know, they were thinking what to do. Angad said that actually I can cross the ocean, but I cannot come back. So then it is not possible, right? And now no one else was capable enough to cross the ocean. But at this time, a very important thing happened. There was a very intelligent monkey. His name was, actually there was a very intelligent bear, right? And his name was Jambavan. So how many of you know who was Jambavan? Yeah. So Jambavan was a very, yes, he was a bear actually. Aditya is telling he was a bear. So he was one of the most, you know, the senior most person and a very wise person. So at that time, he came and talked with Hanumanji, and he inspired Hanumanji that actually you have got so many powers. You can become very tall, as huge as a mountain, and you can become very small, you know, as a fly. And you have got such extraordinary powers. And you are the person actually who can do this great feat, who can cross over this Indian Ocean and go and find Mother Sita. And Hanumanji, when he heard this, he got remembrance. Yes, actually, yes, I have these powers. You're very, very correct. And Hanumanji, as you can see in the picture, he became so huge, like a mountain he became. And then, as you all know the story of which happened in Ramayana, that he crossed over the Indian Ocean and he not only found Mother Sita, but he also, he put fire in Lanka. Ravana had put fire in the tail of Hanumanji. And what Hanumanji did, he thought, anyway, abhi chalo aag lag hi gaya hai. Now fire has been put in my tail. Now let me do the best thing possible. So he put fire in the entire city of Lanka. And thus he created a very, very favorable situation for Lord Ram to fight this battle. So now you see, previously they were in such a such an anxious position. They were thinking that, okay, see, now we cannot cross this ocean, now we cannot find Mother Sita, and Sugriv has also told that if you cannot find Mother Sita, you don't return back. So they might have thought, no, okay, anyway, ocean is there, so now let us all jump in the ocean and commit suicide. So they might have thought like this, right? But what did they do? Instead, Hanumanji, he not only crossed the ocean, but he set fire. He killed so many demons in Lanka. He set the entire Lanka in fire. And thus he created such a positive, a favorable situation for Lord Ram to go and win the battle. So this is an example, a very prominent example of positive thinking. They were in such a negative situation and they turned it into such a positive situation. So there are some very, very valuable lessons which we can learn from this story. So I would ask you to comment in the chat box, like, what are the lessons which we can learn from this story? Okay. Yeah. Always think before you act, think out of the box, keep on trying. We need to believe in ourselves. Yes, this is a very, Sai Charan is telling that we need to believe in ourselves. There is an inner power in you. Yes, very nice lessons. Yes. So now actually, if we see that the most important lesson which we can learn from this story is that actually we need a guide in life. We need actually a guide in life to guide us. See, in this case, Hanumanji, he was forgetful, right? He was not knowing that actually that I can do all these things. But when Jambavan helped him, he gave him, he made him remember that you have got all these powers. Then Hanumanji could realize his potential. So actually it is very, very important that we have a very good guide in our life. They are our parents, our teachers, our well-wishers, books like Bhagavad Gita, Quran, Bible, all these things, they are our guide in life. So we must always follow the instructions of these books. And in that way, we can actually realize our own potential. We will actually realize our true potential. So this is very, very important principle which we learn. And also another thing is that Hanumanji was saying that actually I am going to do the work of Lord Ram. It is God's work I am doing. Therefore, God will definitely help me, right? So therefore, if we are doing something good in life, we know that it is, God will support us. We must have this confidence that if I want to do something good in life, if I'm not doing anything wrong, then definitely I must be confident, because God is on whose sides? God supports the people who are doing the proper things, that who are following his instructions, those who are doing the right things. Therefore, if we are doing the right things, we must be very confident. Yes, I will be successful because God is on my side. And if suppose if on anyone's side God is there, then he is surely to be victorious, right? Yes. So these are some of the lessons which we can learn from these things. So now, as I already mentioned to you, that whenever we are in difficult situations, we can remember these stories, and these lessons, and we should try to inculcate these lessons in our own life and also tell it to others. Yes. So this was about positive thinking. Now, actually, we'll move on to the booklet, our value education booklet. So we'll try to solve the questions which are mentioned here regarding positive thinking. Okay. So just wait, I will just share my screen, this PDF with all of you. Yeah. Okay. So are you able to see? Okay. Are you able to see the PDF which I have shown in the? Okay, I will say in the chat box. Okay. Yes. Yes. Okay. Okay. See here. Read the following conversation between a father and son and fill in the blanks. Okay. So here we see father is telling, "Dear son, why are you morose?" And the son is telling, "Father, I had worked very hard for this exam, but because of silly mistakes in calculations, I lost my marks. Also, the questions which I had prepared for did not come. So I don't feel like working hard anymore." Like this, the son is telling. Then what is the father telling? Come on. Today I will share with you some secrets of success from my life. Then the father is referring to Bhagavad Gita. Okay. So if you have copy of Bhagavad Gita, you can open this sloka of 2.47, and I will also share my screen. Just one second. Okay. So I think all of you are able to see my screen. Yeah. Yes. Okay. Yeah. So here Lord is telling, "Karmani yavadhikaraste ma phalesu kadachana ma karma phala heturbhur mate sango astu karmani." So here Krishna is telling that you can see this, right? You have a right to perform your prescribed duty, but you are not entitled to the fruits of action. Never consider yourself the cause of the results of your activities, and never be attached to not doing your duty. Yes. So this is what his father is exactly telling. You see, he's telling in 2.47, you have a right to perform your duty. This is the fill in the blanks actually, but you are not entitled to the fruits of action, right? Which means that we should not think about the fruit. You know, after we have done our best, then we should not think, okay, what will happen or how much marks will I get. Once we have written the exam, then we should not think about all these things. I have done my best. Whatever God wants me to give, he will give. I have put my best effort. So then he's telling, okay, so I just forgot the page number 6. But okay, so those of you who have got the booklet, it is in page number 6 actually. Okay. Yeah. So yeah. So never consider yourself the cause of the results of your activities, and never be attached to not doing your duty. So we should not think that, okay, I am only the doer. I am only doing all these things. We'll see later on that what are the factors which affect, you know, whenever we do some things, it is not only us which are involved. There are many other things which are involved. We'll see in the later things. And never be attached to not doing your duty. This is the final fill in the blanks. So we should not think like, okay, I will not, if I, you know, I should not, I will not do this, I will not study. If I'm not getting good marks, I will not do this or not do that. So we should not think like this. Krishna is telling here. And then this example comes of Thomas Alva Edison. Yes. Then we go to this next sloka, this 18.14. So I will again show you my screen. Just one second. PG 18.07. Yeah. So here Lord is telling, Adhishtanam tatha karta karanam cha prithak vidham vividhas cha prithak chesta daivam chaivatra panchamam. So he's telling that the place of action, the body, the performer, the various senses, the many different kinds of endeavor, and ultimately the super soul. These are the 5 factors of action. So as I told you, Krishna is telling previously that it is not only our endeavor which is there. There are many other things. that is the body. Means which type of body have we got? Have we got a strong and healthy body, or have we got a weak body? If someone has got a weak body, can he lift weight? He cannot lift weight, right? No matter how much endeavor he may put, can he lift weight? He cannot lift weight if someone has got a thin body. So therefore, the type of body which we have got is also very, very important. Secondly, performer, which means soul. Thirdly, various senses. So what are the senses which we have got? We have got eyes, ears, nose, skin, tongue. So these are all our senses. Now suppose if someone wants to shoot an arrow, right? But he has not got eyes only, then how will he shoot? Can he shoot? He cannot shoot, right? So therefore, we have got to have good senses also. So therefore, senses are also very important. And also, fourthly, our endeavor. So yes, this is very, very important. We have to put our best. No matter what is the situation, we must put our best. So I think some of you are writing something in chat box. Okay, yeah. So we have to put our best endeavor, and ultimately super soul. So super soul is non-different from God. So we may have desires. I want to become this big cricket player. I want to become like Virat Kohli. Some of us may think, but actually we have to see that whether it is there in our karma or not to become Virat Kohli or not. So super soul will see these things. Okay, this person, he is wanting to become a famous cricketer like Virat Kohli, but can he actually become Virat Kohli? He will see in our karma account. He will check. Lord will check in his computer, and then he will see. If he sees that we have actually got good karma to become Virat Kohli, then he will sanction. Okay, tathastu. Then we can actually become a great cricketer like Virat Kohli, a great footballer like Messi. But if we don't have sufficient good karma in our account, then God will check. No. In this life, he cannot become. Maybe in the next life, he can become. So therefore, all these things, they determine our results of action. So actually this solves our second question also. You saw that we saw the 5 things, right? Then the son is asking, son, thank you. Son is telling, thank you, Papa. Now I have understood that I should focus on my duties and prepare for exams, but not take tension about the results. Now I will study nicely in the class, but how do I see the hand of God in my life? Does God really exist? Then what the father is telling? The father is telling, son, who created this universe? Who created this earth on which we are living? It took me 1 full year to make the house in which we are living. So all of you are staying in house or in flat, right? Yeah. So all of us are staying in some house and some flat, right? Some of you are writing. Aditri is writing, I'm staying in flat. Okay, nice. So yes. So now if you see, can you, so how did that flat come up? How was that flat made? As far as I think, there was a bomb blast, boom. And suddenly this beautiful flat in which you are staying, it came up. Is it like that? Can you answer? Is it like that? Your flat came through a bomb blast? Conan is answering no. Ritika is answering. Amulya is answering no. Everyone is answering no. Yes. So it did not come through some bomb blast. As is written, your father, he had paid so much money to the architect to design the house. Then there were so many people involved who were working day and night, working hard day and night to make that flat. And it took so much time. It did not come up within a day. It actually took so much time. 1 year or 2 years it might have taken to bring up that flat. Now if you see, this earth is there with so many species, with so many varieties of trees, so many rivers, Ganga, Yamuna, Kaveri, Narmada, and so many mountains. Mount Everest is there, K2 is there, Kanchenjunga is there, Alps is there, so many things are there. So all of this, has it come by chance? What do you think? Have we come from chance? Suddenly a blast happened, and out of that came Siddhi Sharma. Siddhi, did you came out of some bomb blast? No, right? Or Aditri, did you came out some bomb blast? No. It cannot happen, right? So therefore, actually, there is a designer behind all these things who had intelligently designed all these things. And that is how this universe has come. And that intelligent designer is no other than God, right? So he is telling, see, son is telling, no, it cannot come by chance. Surely somebody has created this earth. And father is telling, very nice. This is the conclusion that there is God. Now in Bhagavad Gita 9.8, Krishna is telling, I will share my screen. Just a second. Okay, I will share my screen. Yeah. Okay, yeah. Page 9.8. Yeah, so here the question also I will tell you. Just 1 second. Yeah. So here, as you can see, in Bhagavad Gita 9.8 says that the whole dash or universe is under me. Under my will, it is dash or created again and again. And under my will, it is dash at the end. So what is our, we have to fill in the blanks, right? So we'll see in that sloka what Krishna is telling. So here Krishna is telling this sloka. So we'll just directly go to this one, the answer. So says that the whole, what is that? See, that the whole uh, cosmic order is under me. So answer is cosmic order. First blank answer is cosmic order. Under my will, it is dash. Under my will, it is automatically manifested again and again, right? And so you understand what is meaning of automatically manifested means? Under my instructions, under my guidance, it is manifested. Manifested means you can see that thing. Manifested means it is in front of you, means it is visible, like that. And again, and under my will, it is dash at the end. Under my will, it is annihilated at the end. Annihilated means destruction, destroyed. So we know that the earth gets created, it remains for some time, at the end it is destroyed. So this is what Krishna is telling, that actually God is telling that the whole cosmic order is under me. Under my will, it is automatically manifested again and again, and under my will, it is annihilated at the end. So who is telling under my will? So it is under God's will. We see that these things are happening. So this is the important thing which we must know. It is under God's control, all these things. Now you see his father is telling, are you seeing this big banyan tree in front of your house? Do you know that it has come from a small tiny seed? A banyan tree seed is very, very small, this small. And from this such a huge tree has come up, right? Now, who made the arrangement for such a small seed to grow in such a big tree? Who made this arrangement? What is the son telling? Nature made. And father is telling. So nature is mother, right? We call, what we call? Do we call father nature or we call mother nature? What we call? Can you answer in chat box? What do we call? We call mother nature or do we call father nature? Mother nature, right? All of you are answering yes, right? So that is actually mother nature. So now can mother produce anything without father? Okay, now is it audible? Okay. Sorry. I think it got muted accidentally. Sorry. Yeah. So I will repeat this one. So from this sloka I will start. So here in 9.10, Krishna is telling this material nature, which is one of the dash. This material nature, which is one of my energies. So this nature is my energy, means God's energy. That is what Krishna is telling. Then this material nature, which is one of my energies, is working dash, which means is working under my direction. So nature is working under direction of Krishna, right? Oh, son of Kunti. So who is son of Kunti? Can you answer? Who is son of Kunti? Yeah, Aditri is writing Arjun. Yes, Aditri seems to be knowing all the answers. and Aditya is also writing Arjun. Yes. Yeah, son of Kunti here is Arjun. So, oh, son of Kunti, I think, yeah. So till here we can see the sloka goes like this. I will show you. So it's telling under my direction of Kunti, producing again all moving and non-moving things. Under its rule, this manifestation is created and alienated again and again. So therefore, God is telling that nature, which mother nature, which you are seeing, this is under my control only. This is my energy only. Okay. So then now Sun is telling, now I am able to understand that there is Supreme Lord who has designed and created everything. Father is telling, if traffic policeman controls the signal of traffic, who controls the traffic of revolving planets? If you see this, see, Earth is revolving around the sun. And you know what is the speed with which it is revolving? 30 kilometers per second. That is the speed with which it is revolving. So if you see, you know, like when we are going in traffic, we cannot drive on right side in India, right? If someone wants, no, it is there is no, I will not follow any traffic rule, I will just go on whichever direction I want. What will happen? Accident will happen. So therefore traffic police is there to direct the traffic. Similarly, if you see, Earth is moving around the sun in a particular direction only, like in a particular orbit it is moving. So do you think that it is moving automatically randomly just like that? No, there has to be a designer who has designed this law that, okay, Earth will move at this specific speed of 30 kilometers per second at this around this orbit only. So this is no other than God, right? So now the Sun is asking, okay, if God is a loving father, then why does he let so many problems come in our lives? This the Sun is asking. So then father is telling a story. So I will show one last video for all of you to demonstrate this story. Yeah. Okay, I think, yeah. Oh.
My name is Big.
So this is a 1 minute, 1.5 minute video. So we'll see this. Yeah. So
Jason Hennison, and I use videos for WordPress plugin demos on my
इसका साउंड नहीं आ रहा Okay, so how many of you like the video? Yeah, so Hitesh telling wow, yes, nice. So what is the lesson which we can learn from this video? That actually, if suppose, suppose someone takes pity at the butterfly, he's thinking, oh my God, he has to struggle so much to come out of this cocoon. Let me go and cut the cocoon so that he can easily come out. But then you know what will happen? The butterfly will not get the strength in its wings to fly, and he can never fly in his lifetime. So therefore, actually, what is the lesson which we can learn from this? What is the lesson? Can you write? Butterfly will die. Yes. It will face so many problems. Yes. We should try hard. Yes. Actually, if we see that the son asks a question, right? If God is a loving father, then why does he let so many problems come in our lives? So actually, if we see that God is a loving father, and when he lets so many problems come in our life, then what happens that it makes us struggle, and struggle makes a man stronger. So how does it make a man stronger? So see, when we are struggling, no, then actually we take shelter of Lord. We call out, oh Lord, please help me. Oh God, please help me. I'm in so much trouble. And we come closer to God. And when we come closer to God, what happens? When we remember God, what happens? See, God is the source of all happiness, right? And he's the source of all intelligence also. So when we remember God, actually God gives us the necessary intelligence, right? So suppose when we are stuck in some problem, we go to our teacher to ask, oh sir, please help me. So then what does our teacher do? He gives us a solution. Okay, you can do like this and like this. So similarly, when in times of difficulty we remember God, God will give us the solution. Okay, you do like this and thus you will be successful. And in this way we can become very, very happy actually. So this is the secret he give. So therefore struggles are there in our life, right? Yes. So so the lesson is that sometimes struggles are exactly what we need in our lives. If we were allowed to go through our life without any obstacles, we would be crippled, right? And there are ways in which we can remember God, we can come close to God. So one of the most important and effective means which I personally have been practicing for a long time is this mantra meditation, or remembering the God through his name. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Yes. Okay. So this was all what I wanted to share for this session. So thank you very much. Now